Tennessee Football Classics, Vintage Orange, is brought. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Kessing of the Ball Network, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Football Classics, Vintage Orange. The 1969 season was a special one for Tennessee fans. The Volunteers won the SEC championship. But at the end of the season, they were jolted to learn that head coach Doug Dickey was leaving the Volunteers to take on the head coaching job with the Florida Gators. UT Athletic Director Bob Woodruff didn't have to look very far to get his new head coach. He stayed right on the staff and selected Bill Battle, who then became the youngest head coach in the country. Battle had a team that had the great nucleus returning. Bobby Scott was the quarterback, Kurt Watson the tailback, and on defense, the big play performance of Jackie Walker, Bobby Majors, and also Tim Priest. So, here's a look at the 1970 Tennessee Volunteers, the highlights film narrated by John Ward.
No one could overlook the similarities. Football fans from across Tennessee were gathering to witness a final regular season game between the bowl-bound Volunteers and the UCLA Bruins. The date is December 5th, 1970, and the place, Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee. In 1970, again trailing UCLA late in the game, the Vols got the big play when they needed it. Only this time, it was Kurt Watson, a more established running back, who burst across for the winning TD. Throughout the season, observers noted a rare spirit of closeness that characterized the 1970 Vols, players and coaches alike. Head coach Bill Battle appropriately called it a feeling of oneness, and it was there for all to see, as Vols making spectacular plays were eagerly embraced by their coaches and teammates. New Orleans, New Year's Day in the Sugar Bowl, and a nationwide television audience are the Vols' rewards for their outstanding play in 1970. More than 19,000 Tennesseans, the largest delegation ever to follow any team to the Sugar Bowl, were on hand in New Orleans, and they saw a super performance against the Air Force in the first 12 minutes that assured a Tennessee victory. 78,000 fans were in the stands to watch the Vols record one of their finest appearances ever in a postseason game. The Big Orange machine is near flawless on this sunny New Year's Day, as senior Bobby Scott directs his teammates to a commanding 24-0 lead and a new Sugar Bowl scoring record. Here, Scott connects with Lester McLean to advance the ball to the Air Force 5-yard line. Touchdown number 1 comes on the next play as senior tailback Don McCleary takes a pitch out and sweeps into the end zone. After a George Hunt field goal runs the count to 10-0, the Falcons are unable to move. And here's why. Frank Howell leads the charge. The Tennessee blitz continues after an Air Force fumble, as another Scott to McLean pass nets 20 yards. And it's McCleary again for the touchdown. This time firing up the middle before breaking clear for the Vols' second touchdown. David Allen, whose vicious tackle separates receiver and ball, and Jamie Rotella recovers for the Vols. The Scott to Joe Thompson passing combination was not as publicized as the Air Force's Parker to Jennings combine, but it proved much more deadly. This Thompson catch sets up still another Vol score. Put on the board when Scott finds tight end Gary Thiler all alone at the Falcons' 7-yard line. the remainder of the game, Tennessee's savage defense protects the lead with pass interceptions. And with vicious tackling and fumble recovery. Then, for added thrills, electrifying Bobby Majors sweeps down the sideline to put the frosting on a 34-13 Tennessee victory. The convincing Sugar Bowl win was a fitting climax to a brilliant debut for 28-year-old Bill Battle, promoted from an assistant's job to head coach at Tennessee in January of 1970. Battle was at the controls as the Vols compiled 11 victories, best Tennessee record since 1950, and became the only team in the nation to win at least 8 games for each of the past 6 years.
University of Tennessee Sports. Emotion.
Don't give up.
The Vols, in preparation for the 1970 season, went through a rigorous spring practice and demanding 2-a-day fall workouts, and were obviously well prepared for their September 19th season opener against the Southern Methodist Mustangs. In that game, playing against Chuck Hickson, one of the nation's great passers, the Vols established a pattern for the season in making timely interceptions. The alert Tennessee secondary presented a formidable defense against the passing game throughout the season. Certainly one of the season's highlights would have to be the 24-0 victory over Alabama, the first time the Crimson Tide had been whitewashed since 1959. The Vols were just starting to draw the attention of bowl representatives and college football polls when outstanding defensive plays such as these turned back the tide. Captain Tim Priest set up the Vols' first touchdown early by intercepting this Ned Hayden pass and returning the football 22 yards to the Tide 16. It's 3rd and 7 when Sonny Leach's catch puts the ball at the Tide 1-yard line. Scott put Tennessee on the scoreboard on the next play with a sneak over the middle. Tennessee's defense, continuing to come up with the big plays, steals its 3rd aerial of the afternoon when Jackie Walker's interception helps preserve the Vols' 7-0 halftime margin. Vol bulldozer Kurt Watson triggers a drive early in the 3rd quarter as he powers for 13 of his total 91 yards to the Tide 18. Don McCleary puts the points on the board with this pitch out, hiking Tennessee's margin to 14-0. The Vols put the game on ice early in the 4th quarter, striking for 10 points in a 17-second span. Here, George Hunt, SEC record holder for scoring by kicking, boots a 35-yard field goal. Watch the Alabama receiver on this play. That's David Allen, whose lick pops the football up for grabs, and the alert Jackie Walker gets his 2nd pickoff and races for the end zone as the Vols roll 24-0. And fittingly, it was Vol captain Tim Priest who intercepted another pass later in the final quarter, the 8th interception in the game, to set a new Tennessee record. Florida followed Alabama into Neyland Stadium, and the Gators became the Vols' 4th straight victim as Tennessee continued its steady climb upward in the national grid polls. The fans saw a devastating Tennessee air attack, and quarterback Bobby Scott wasted no time in getting the balls on the scoreboard. Split end Joe Thompson is on the receiving end of this 42-yard touchdown pass early in the first quarter. The Tennessee aerial circus, good for 385 yards in this game, proved to be exciting all afternoon. Scott to Stan Trott nets 51 yards and a first down inside the Gator 20. Kurt Watson is untouched as he rips off the touchdown yardage. Moments later, with the ball at the Gator 5, Thompson grabs his second touchdown pass as Tennessee opens up a 21-7 halftime cushion. Watch the pressure being applied to Florida's quarterback John Reed, and the alert interception by Conrad Graham, whose determined run puts him in the end zone. Jackie Walker, continuing the aerial thievery, steals this Gator pass and hauls it across the goal line. It was a great day for end zone celebration as Tennessee stretched its victory margin over Florida to 38-7. There were also victories over two other conference foes, Kentucky and Vanderbilt, during the 1970 season. The Vols had their eyes on a major bowl bid when the Kentucky Wildcats came to Neyland Stadium in late November. After a scoreless first quarter, the Vols' Tim Priest made things happen with this interception of a Kentucky pass and a 23-yard run deep into Kentucky territory. The opportunity was not wasted as Scott triggers a pass to Gary Thyler for the first of 6 Vol touchdowns. Fullback Kurt Watson capped the 80-yard mark with this 2-yard plunge, and Tennessee held a 14-0 halftime lead. The second half was even more exciting for Tennessee fans, as the 45-0 defeat was the worst loss suffered by the Wildcats since 1938. Here, Steve Wold romps off right tackle for 22 yards in another scoring drive. Leading 21-0, safety man Bobby Majors gave the Vols another scoring opportunity with this interception and return to the Kentucky 19. Tennessee widened its gap to 31-0 as the Scott to Trot combine clicks for 13 yards and a TD. Versatile Bobby Majors converts a 4th down play into a 24-yard gain to keep another scoring drive alive in the 4th quarter. Tennessee reserves dominated play in the final 15 minutes, and their execution proved Tennessee's strong team depth. Here, George Silvey flashes off tackle for 33 yards to the Wildcats 7, setting up yet another Vol 6-pointer. This 7-yard romp by George Silvey was the Vols' 6th TD of the afternoon, as Kentucky was chopped down 45-0. The Vols traveled to Nashville for their final conference game against Vanderbilt, where this recovery of a fumbled punt led to an early Tennessee touchdown. The game is less than 5 minutes old when Don McCleary races into the end zone for the Vol score. Bobby Majors set up another Tennessee score with this 32-yard punt return. It's 4th and 1. And Bobby Scott fools the Commodores with this scoring pass to Gary Filer. This third quarter interception by Bob Majors tied the SEC record. It was the Vols' 34th kickoff of the season. Tennessee launched a 91-yard drive late in the fourth quarter, with most of the yardage coming on runs such as this one by Don McCleary. But the touchdown, with only 2.5 minutes left in the game, comes on a Dennis Chadwick to Stan Trott pass, and the Vols widen their margin of victory to 24-6. Tennessee set a new conference standard for pass interceptions during the regular 1970 season. Here it's Danny Jeffries who gets the record-setting 35th interception late in the Vanderbilt game. And the occasion is not unnoticed by his teammates. A sense of unity and confidence in themselves enabled the Vols to maintain their poise in the face of adversity in 2 key games during the season. One was a cliffhanger at Columbia against the South Carolina Gamecocks. The Vols took command of the game early as all-star candidate Tim Priest intercepts a South Carolina pass to put Tennessee in excellent field position. Three plays later, Bobby Scott lost a 32-yard scoring pass to end Stan Trott, who seemed to make a specialty of catching the bomb. This Bobby Majors punt return, just moments later, set up a George Hunt field goal as Tennessee jumped to an early 10-0 lead. The Gamecocks gained the lead 11-10 in a tension-packed fourth quarter. But the Vols are well on their way to regaining the lead as Kevin Milam returns this Carolina kickoff for 49 yards. Then Bobby Scott hits Gary Filer, who advances to the Gamecock 28. And the Vols surge to the front again, 17-11, as Scott finds Kurt Watson all alone for this touchdown. The clock and the score are both against the Vols when trailing 18-17 with only seconds remaining. The Gamecocks are forced to punt. The Tennessee win is set up by this play as Steve Wold twists and turns for 22 yards deep into Carolina territory. Every eye in the stadium is on George Hunt. Carolina leads 18-17. 31-yard field goal attempt. The ball is snapped. The ball is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. The Vols have captured a 20-18 thriller in the final 15 seconds of play. In their regular season finale, the Vols were called on to make a similar comeback against the UCLA Bruins. Tennessee unleashed a torrid air raid in the second quarter. Here, Scott finds Gary Filer for 16 yards and a first down at the Tennessee 42. The Vols' air attack, good for 211 yards in this game, was complemented by the strong running of Kurt Watson. Wingback Lester McLean was the target of this Scott bomb on the next play. A pass interference penalty gave Tennessee the ball on the Bruins' 1-yard line. Two punches failed to dent the UCLA front wall, so Don McCleary took the air route, soaring into the end zone to give Tennessee a 7-0 margin. UCLA tied the score in the third quarter, but Scott and company roared right back. The Vol quarterback completed this 15-yarder to Gary Thyler. Another pass to Thyler, this one good for 12 yards, puts the ball at the Bruins' 25. Scott connects here with Lester McLean as the Vols claimed a 14-7 lead. Happy Lester celebrated with a little dance and was warmly applauded by his teammates. UCLA moved into the lead for the first time, 17-14, with less than 4 minutes left in the game. But Tennessee launched a do-or-die drive out of the shadows of defeat. And Lester McLean, playing perhaps his finest game, grabbed this 32-yarder to get the Vols rolling at the UCLan 35. Suddenly, the Vols are faced with a 4th and 4 situation at the Bruin 29. And it's a pair of seniors who make the clutch play as Scott finds Don McCleary for 10 yards and a vital first down. Then, it was fullback Kurt Watson, piling up 104 yards for the afternoon, who scrambled the final 19 yards on pure second effort to give Tennessee a 21-17 command. The Vols found pay dirt again with only 8 seconds to go and posted a 28-17 win over UCLA.
1970 was a great year for all of us. 10 regular season wins, a 4th place national ranking, and a Sugar Bowl championship. But 1970 is history now, and we are genuinely looking forward to the 1971 season and meeting the challenge of continued excellence in the true Tennessee football tradition.